If you think North Idaho is your affordable escape, you might already be too late. The dream is real, mountains, lakes, space, but the bills are too. Housing, property taxes, health care, and winter costs. Most online lists skip those. I'm going to show you the true ranges people actually face so you can decide if this still fits your plan. We'll break down housing across Coeur, Post Falls, Hayden, Rathdrum, and Sandpoint. Then the tax and healthcare curveballs, and we're going to get after it right now. Hey, I'm Reed Wilson with Revealing North Idaho. Been longtime resident of Idaho, born and raised here. Grew up in southeast Idaho, ventured north, been up here in the North Idaho area for the last 10 years. A little over 20 years as a Idaho real estate agent. So coming at you every week with new information about the North Idaho area and how we can maybe help you, or information maybe you need to decide if North Idaho is the place for you. Let's get started. We're talking about the affordability of North Idaho, and let's start with the cost that blindsides people first: housing. Pillar one, the housing price surge. Coeur, Post Falls, Hayden, Rathdrum, Sandpoint. The thing most people miss is their budgeting with 2020 numbers in a 20-25 year market. The list price is only the headline. The monthly carry is the story. Rates changed. HOAs are common, and the new builds push your all-in higher than you expect. Downsizing isn't automatically cheaper here. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Set two limits before you tour: your purchase cap and your all-in monthly ceiling, including principal and interest, taxes, insurance, HOA, and a winter reserve. If you remember nothing else, remember that ceiling. This is why it's very important to talk to a mortgage professional before you go house shopping. If you're doing any financing, that's probably the most important thing you can start with, is to figure out what your budget is going to be, what you can afford, and how much you can finance. Let me show you how the towns stack up. And you can plug in your local ranges or figures. Coeur first. Close to the lake or in established neighborhoods like Fort Grounds or Sanders Beach area, or even parts of Midtown like the Garden District, you will pay a steep premium. You'll see older homes with charm, but not bargain pricing. Lake proximate pockets and walkable areas carry higher taxes and insurance. Plus, you may inherit older roofs, windows, insulation, other issues, plumbing issues, that raise utility costs, that raise contractor costs and remodeling costs. So those are things to keep in mind. And newer infill can look tempting, but a lot of times you're going to pay for the location and the finish upgrades. If you're aiming single level living with minimal stairs, expect to compete. This is a destination area, but we have a lot of retired people that come this way, and a lot of people are looking for those single levels, and so they typically trade fast here. Post Falls is commuter friendly with quick I-90 access. Resale inventory is tight, so many buyers land in new construction areas. There are a lot of new construction areas that are pushing out towards the prairie, but that is also where we're starting to see a lot of the HOAs and CC&Rs show up. It's getting hard to find any housing up here anymore, especially in any of these new subdivisions without HOAs. The model price rarely includes blinds, backyard landscaping, fencing, or appliance upgrades. Most don't come with a refrigerator. Impact fees and lot premiums stack up. If you need RV parking or a 3-car garage, plan for a premium or longer search. Hayden, where pricing is typically higher. It's a little more popular with that 45 plus crowd because of the single level homes, bigger garages, demand for shops, RV pads, wider lots, all these things push prices up even higher. The thing most people miss is the flat living premium. The no step entries, wider hallways, the main floor owner suite, a lot of those get scarce. They get bid up. That's what, lot of us getting older people, I don't like stairs anymore. I'll do them, but I'd just soon have everything on one level. So I kind of get that. You'll also see higher carry if you want proximity to, say, the golf courses, country clubs, lake access, or community amenities. Rathdrum offers relative value, but there are trade-offs. It's a little further out, so you got fewer amenities. You have a little longer drives, new build timelines. You might get a bigger lot or a 3-car at a price that you can't touch in, say, Hayden, Coeur d'Alene, but plan on the commute math. Or you may end up by maybe one of the train tracks that come through. If you've watched some of my other videos, we've shown where a lot of those tracks are. So make sure that you do your research. If you don't like trains, there's a few areas that I would not recommend. Winter road maintenance and fuel add to your monthly carry. If you're flexible on finishes and timing, Rathdrum just might be a great option for you. Just price in the extras, the builder doesn't include. Sandpoint, much like our downtown Coeur d'Alene area, it is resort influence. Seasonal demand spikes, push prices and tighten inventories. Condos can sometimes look like the shortcut, but HOA dues can balloon the monthly. Short-term rental rules shift, so don't count on vacation income to make the numbers pencil. If you want walkability to downtown or Schweitzer access, expect to pay. Outside city limits, you may trade price for winter access issues and higher private road or snow removal costs, or septic costs, some of those others that you get as you get out of town there. Financing is the headwind no one likes to talk about. A higher rate can add hundreds per month on the same list price versus a few years ago. Cash buyers, they kind of set the comps, and that keeps prices, say, a little sticky. If you're financing, structure matters. Rate buy downs, larger down payments, and appraisal gap reserves can save a deal, but could raise your cash outlay from what maybe you were expecting. Hidden add-ons are where budgets break. Closing costs, inspections, septic tests when rural, window coverings, fencing, driveways, and landscaping. New builds often hand you a dirt backyard. Don't forget utility setup and winter gear, plow services, snow blowers, or a contractor on retainer. Common mistakes: under budgeting HOAs, assuming low taxes across the board, overestimating short-term rental income, and ignoring commute and winter costs. Quick win: decide on your purchase cap and your all-in monthly ceiling now, then filter every showing through those numbers and skip anything that can't fit. Once you nail that, everything else clicks, including negotiating credits where they matter most. Pillar 2, property tax and utility trap. Purchase price isn't the only line item. Your yearly carry is where budgets get stretched. Assessed value, levy rates, exemptions, plus rural utilities that don't behave like city bills. The reason this matters is simple. If your taxes and winter utilities jump, your affordable plan can turn into a monthly squeeze. Here's how Idaho property taxes generally work in plain English. The county assessor sets an assessed value. Your area has a combined levy rate, and your bill is assessed a value multiplied by that rate, minus any exemptions that you may qualify for, like the homeowner's exemption. If this is your primary resident, you can then deduct up to $125,000 off of that assessed value to help lower your taxes. Now, we also have some other assessments here that help out exemptions, like our timber exemption. We have an ag exemption. Those are more if you have some acreage and you're more rural. Seniors may have a circuit breaker relief for an exemption, but the thing most people miss is the reassessment timing. New construction can be assessed close to market in year one, and then you can get a supplemental bill after closing. If you budgeted off the seller's old tax bill, you can be off by a wide margin at times. Let me show you the practical version so you can plug in your local ranges here. Take a home in Coeur d'Alene. Near popular amenities, you've got higher assessed values, special districts, fire, library, school, bonds. Layer in your levy, shift the same house concept to, let's say, Rathdrum, and you have a different levy mix in assessed value tract. We could have way different tax values just based on the same home, same price. My job, though, as an agent, is to get you the information. Typically, we're going to look to see if we can get the last couple years. I've got access to all of that. We'll get the last couple years of tax bills. If there's any upcoming estimates that we can get information on, I'll grab that. And before you write an offer, we want to make sure that you know what to expect before you move forward. Now, utilities, in town with city services, you've got a lot more predictability with your water, sewer, power, some of those things. Septic systems tend to need inspection, and sometimes they're going to need upgrades, depending on how old they are, or if you've had a tree root grow through them. Many rural homes heat with propane, and delivery schedules plus tank rentals and size matter in the winter. Snow removal isn't a theory here. Long driveways need plowing, and if you're on a private road, there may need to be a road maintenance agreement or HOA dues that could spike after heavy winters. The cheap acreage can come with a higher monthly carry once you add in fuel, plowing, generator fuel for outages, a lot of those types of things. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Build a winter budget line item now. Tires, plow, service, or snowblower maintenance, roof raking, or ice dam mitigation. All real stuff here. And a small emergency heat plan if the power goes out. For condos in places like, say, Sandpoint, HOA dues can include snow removal, but they can also rise after big winters. The headline monthly HOA may not include special assessments for roofs, road resurfacing, or water systems. I've had that happen where all of a sudden they're going to repaint all the buildings or put on a new roof, and so they come out with a special assessment that everybody has to pay, and so you got to pony up. So we want to check into those. We want to look into the last couple years of the HOA budgets and any pending capital projects. Homeowners exemption. File the moment you close. If this is your primary, also check to see if on acreage, if your home will qualify for a timber or ag exemption. Seniors should check eligibility for circuit breaker programs and understand application windows, and mark your calendar for the appeal period. If your assessed value jumps more than expected, you need to be ready with comps. That's where you would call someone like me, and facts, not feelings. Common mistakes that we see is assuming Idaho equals low taxes across the board and in all towns, relying on the seller's last tax bill in a rising market and budgeting summer utilities and not taking into consideration the winter spike. Another one is skipping the special district lines on your bill. Those can change year to year depending on bonds or levies or what's been voted on that year. Everybody's voting for school bonds and levies to try to fund with the growth that's going on. We're constantly seeing new areas that need money spent for all the expansion and for all the expansion and for all the growth that we have been seeing. Now here's where most people mess up. Moving here on, say just a local wage and hoping to figure it out later, that's going to bring us straight into the wage versus cost gap. Pillar 3, the wage versus cost gap. The reason this section matters is because affordability isn't just about prices. It's about income that sustains the carry. Local wages haven't kept up with housing and winter cost here in North Idaho, which means the people who thrive are either bringing in remote income, stacking multiple reliable income streams, or living on a disciplined fixed income or retirement that gives them a plan for and room for those spikes. In Coeur d'Alene and Post Falls, there's a lot of service, retail, hospitality. Hours can fluctuate with seasons and overtime isn't guaranteed. Sandpoint leans even more seasonal. Tips and hours rise and fall with resort traffic. Trades can pay solid hourly rates, but tools, a reliable truck, fuel, insurance eat into a lot of your take home. Healthcare can be more stable, but schedules can include nights and weekends, and depending on your specialty, it may require commuting over to Spokane. Education, public sector roles can provide benefits, but you're going to want to compare pay scales with your projected housing carry. Here's the quick budgeting lens for those of us that are older. Pre-Medicare healthcare isn't a real factor. Premiums, deductibles, HOA strategies, prescription costs, and out-of-pocket caps. If one spouse retires early, bridging to Medicare can change the math. If you're remote, you can win here. If you're local only without specialized skills, expect trade-offs. Smaller homes, farther out locations, or renting first while you build a cushion. This clicked for me when a recent client compared Hayden and Rathdrum. Same budget, very different outcomes. Hayden's single-level home near amenities pushed their property tax and HOA into a monthly squeeze. Rathdrum gave them a lower tax bill, lower HOA, but added commute, fuel, and less amenities. The game changer nobody talks about is having an experienced realtor like myself that is familiar with the neighborhoods and understands what is important to you and your next home and understands your budget and won't try to upsell you. Pillar 4, how to still move, smart options. Okay, so if we're still in, you're still thinking, okay, I can make Idaho work. Let's make this move without overextending. You know, we're going to want to clarify your buy box for many of our older buyers. I'm just talking, I don't mean to say older, but 45 plus movers that could be wanting more of a single level, fewer steps, 3-car garage or shop, RV pad, and minimal CC&Rs. In Hayden, you'll pay a premium for these types of homes, but you're in a very beautiful area. In Coeur d'Alene, depending on location and walkability, adds costs fast. Rathdrum gives us a better price, but we can get into some of those higher prices as we get out into some of that acreage and get into those homes with the shops and some of those things again. We got a lot of beautiful areas there in that Rathdrum. Outside of the Rathdrum proper, if you stay in, you've got some better pricing per square foot, but remember, it's going to add some commute, winter road costs. It snows more in the Rathdrum area. Post Falls balances commute, access, and new builds. Got to watch the HOAs and what's not included. In Sandpoint, a lot like a CDA location. In Sandpoint, a lot like what we see in Coeur location and walkability add costs. And if you're going with a condo, then either embrace the HOA dues inside town or go outside of city limits and budget for that private road and acreage and snow management. Location strategy is about trade-offs that you can live with. Finding which areas that can make you feel comfortable and feel like home while staying within your budget. Make sure you have an experienced realtor that understands which inspections are important. Well flow and potability tests, septic inspections and pump reports, radon tests, roof age, ventilation insulation, air sealing, mold, that we need to keep an eye out for when that's going to be more important, which loan programs are going to demand it, which age of stuff should we be concerned more on some of these things than others. So make sure you got somebody that's looking out for you, checking, your ventilation, insulation, air sealing, chimneys, all these things, not just for winterization, but your pipes and driveways, all of this stuff. Ask for utility histories, maintenance agreements, tax, and healthcare planning is important. File homestead day one. Check senior exemptions or circuit breaker eligibility, and note appeal times. Call local health providers. Confirm primary care physician availability, specialty referrals, and nearest ER and urgent care drive times. Used an experienced mortgage professional that understands financing tactics. And if you don't have one or you don't know of one, reach out to me. I've got a list of mortgage professionals here that I trust, that will take good care of you, that know what they're doing, and that can help you figure out things like how to compare permanent buy down versus temporary 2-1 buy down math. Increase down payments to avoid PMI, or hold on an appraisal gap reserve. Negotiate your credits over price cuts so that you can fund closing costs or rate points. Prioritize repairs that affect winter safety, roof heat, insulation, driveway, that kind of stuff. Here's the takeaway. The core truth: affordability here is your total carry. Housing, taxes, utilities, healthcare, winter versus stable income and buffers. If that balance works, then great. If you have questions, reach out here. We're here in North Idaho. Please reach out. Me and my team, we are never too busy for you. Would love to talk to you about your goals, about what you're wanting to do, and see if we can help make your move to North Idaho a smooth transition. Please be sure to download our free relocation guide. It's in the comments below. All my information is either here on the screen or below. Love to talk to you about what you're going to do. Thank you for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe so you can catch us every week as we come at you with new information. And we'll see you on the next video.